So very good afternoon and welcome to Devonport for the Oceania Elite Standard Championships for the men. It's Andrew Hopwood with Craig Redman, and Redders, what an amazing race we had in the female division just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, fantastic win from Rochelle Hill from Brisbane in Queensland. She controlled that run, but what an amazing run by Lauren Kerwick to get up alongside her with a K&a-half to go, and then Rochelle had the maturity just to ease away and win that race. So fantastic effort. You can see them coming along there. Lauren was in the second chase pack. She ran incredibly well, along with Nicole Vanderkay was in that group who took the bronze medal. But this was an incredible finish, side by side with less than a kilometre to go. And just the maturity from Rochelle, under 23 athlete, to not panic and to get herself just to ease away and take the win.
Yeah, it certainly was an amazing race, as we can see here from that vision, as the men are preparing down at the water. Interesting enough, the tide has gone out, and we'll go down and listen to the introduction of all of our competitors.
Technical team today are technical delegate Kathy Davey and Michael Wise. Head referee Sue Fairweather.
So there are the faces of the races as we heard the introductions out there of the officials. Always a nervous time, Redders. It's been a pretty warm day. It looks slightly stormy over ahead, but still the water conditions are over that 20 degrees, so everyone will be racing without the wetsuit on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the elite athletes of the 2025 Oceania Elite and Under 23 Men Championships Devonport. Wearing number 2, let's hear it for Brandon Copeland. Number 3, Callum McCluskey. Number 4, Luke Schofield. Number 21, Braden Mercer. Number 5 is Lachlan Jones. Number 6, Saxon Morgan. Number 7, Oscar Dart. Number 8, Jaden Schofield. 22 is James Corbett. Number 9 in his 10th appearance, Kurt Wesley. 23 is Henry McMecking. Number 24, Gus Marfell. 25 is Rory Thornhill. Number 26, Leighton Wall. 27, Jack Crome. Number 28, Oliver Larkham. Number 10, Kai Wild. Number 11, Johan Collin. Number 12 is Reese Harris. Number 30, Ivan Abel. Wearing 32 is Cameron Maunder. 33, Joshua Neervoot. Number 34, Brooklyn Henry. 35 is Logan Campbell. Number 36, Christopher Gardner. Number 37, Grayson Westgate. Sorry, Cooper Lee. My apologies, Cooper. Number 38, Grayson Westgate. My apologies, Grayson. Number 39, Ty Davis. Number 40, Darcy Williams. Number 41, William Taylor. Let's go back to number 14, Dylan Holland. Number 43, Rowan Hickey. Number 15, Sebastian Asher. 44, Reeve Dooney. Number 45, Dion Warwork. 46 is Jet Curtis. And number 47, let's hear it for Timothy Hornsey. There's our elite and under 23 Oceania men's participants making their way down to the beach. Tide's gone out a little. Our last event for the day, what a great way to finish. Standard distance. Elite and under 23 men ready to go. Get yourself down and have a look at the beach start.
We got some great vision down there, Redders, of, as we just heard, the last event, which is the under 23 and open elite men.
Yeah, fantastic field today. We've seen some great racing over the last 2 days with our paras yesterday and now our elite men. We're about to get a race start.
So I think that's Luke Schofield closest to camera, with Timothy Hornsey from New Zealand just inside that. A big crowd has sort of witnessed one of the most wonderful finishes. We can just hear in the background a siren. That's the Australian rules footy, which is it's a sports precinct out here where we are. The starters have given the buzzer. That's what they were waiting for as they rush towards the water, spread right out all of these competitors in what is 2 laps of this 750 metre swim course here in Devonport.
Yeah, fantastic start. All the strong swimmers have moved down to that left-hand side of the course. Very important to try and get that 1 or 2 extra steps before you take that dive to gain that extra 1 or 2 body lengths. Good position. There's some swimmers here with some excellent surf life-saving backgrounds, and expect to see people like Brandon Copeland and the under-23 athlete and the new sensation, Braden Mercer as well.
Yes, what about that?
We expect to see Braden right up there in the swim as well.
Because I think you and I were talking, he had that breakout performance in Noosa and also came second in Napier in New Zealand just recently. So, yeah, he's in good form and be pretty confident about his performance. The other thing I noticed a few minutes ago was some of the elite and under 23 women were having a bit of a discussion to the boys, and they were sort of telling them about positioning, tidal flow, all of that sort of stuff. So I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, it's always good to get that insight from the people that have just raced before you.
Yep.
Tide's dropped a little bit from the elite women's race, but 1.5 kilometre swim, so 2 laps of 750 metres here on this course. So we expect it to be a pretty quick swim. Even now, the wind still hasn't got up too bad.
It's good. I went right down on the beach to do a bit of reconnaissance just for this. I didn't go out on the water, but down at water side, I thought to myself, by this stage, like yesterday, the breezer got up. Still very, very good racing conditions.
Yeah, slightly overcast. We are expecting a rainstorm to come through later this afternoon, but we're pretty confident we'll hold off until at least the end of the bike course.
Yep.
So fingers crossed for that. But at this stage, perfect conditions for racing.
Yeah, so for those who haven't been watching and have just joined us now to watch this particular race, the bike course, it is quite interesting. It is an 8-lap course. It goes out. It has, of course, the North Street Hill. It goes up and about and then goes on the running courses, very flat and very fast, but very, very testing bike conditions. But and there it is there, Redders. You'll explain it more. You're the local.
Yeah, 2-lap swim, as we mentioned. The only change with that bike course, there is a slight detour. They're not doing the long section out to Don River on the Coles Beach Road. They deem that with some speed humps to be a bit dangerous. So it does say 7 laps on the bike. It's actually 8 laps, the same as the elite women. So 8 times up the North Street Hill on the bike, and then a very fast 10k run on a flat hot mix to the eastern side of the course.
Certainly the technical sections there where it's quite tight. You go up the hill, then it's very fast down, and then some chicanes, tight corners, which brought a couple of athletes undone yesterday as the men get towards the first cannon. Look at the flailing arms. It's smashing, and you don't want to get hit by one of those, as was the case in an earlier race, but they're just making sure they get around it now. Push towards the parallel section with the beach.
Yeah, very rough around that if you get caught on the inside. We've just got one swimmer that's sort of fallen off the back there, but it's as we mentioned in the women's race, it's starting to string out now, so it's a fast swim, and you can see they're just trying to hang on to feet, sit on hips, but as we mentioned earlier, Hoppy, you can't win the race here, but my goodness, you can lose it.
Well, we've seen that, mate, haven't we? We've certainly had Lena as an example in the under 23s this morning, one of the race favourites, the local Jack Woodbury. If, to be clear, probably lost it in the swim because he didn't quite come out the fronts. He had a ripping effort in the bike and actually a very, very good run, but just couldn't quite make up that distance.
Yeah, so we as we mentioned, we had a fantastic race there. Just a little recap for those that are tuning in. Aspen Anderson took the gold medal in the junior women, and then Jack Caldwell in the junior men from Australia, and then we just saw Young Hill.
Oh yeah, no, she was just terrific
in that run. And look, we're looking for under 23s. This is under 23 and elite in the same race, so under 23s are eligible to win the elite category of this race. There is some Australian selections up for the World Championships in Wollongong later in the year, so lot to race for.
Oh, there certainly is, but as we heard from Rochelle's mum and coach, that she really was targeting to try and win this race so that she'd get certain qualification for the Worlds in Wollongong, and so that's the first thing that she's done, which is absolutely wonderful as far as she is concerned. And here they go now, Redders, as they head towards the beach. It's the 2 laps of the 750 metre course. The swell didn't even seem as bad. I thought that might have been building, but in the earlier races the swell did seem to get up. It's not too bad at all, and it's quite flat swimming today.
This will be really interesting. This race in the women's, there was three to four distinct groups formed on the bike, so it'll be interesting whether a group can get away or whether it all comes together. I certainly know that there's some really strong bike riders in there. Expect some of our Kiwi athletes, they always ride well. They love racing here in Devonport. I was talking to Steve Sheldrake, the New Zealand High Performance coach, and he was telling me that Saxon Morgan unfortunately had an accident while he was here training. He's okay, he's in the race, but his bike got snapped in half.
Oh, wow.
So he's had to borrow a bike, so he's on a borrowed bike for this race, but he's okay. He's right to race, but unfortunately his bike's not.
Yeah, well, there's a fair bit of technology in those bikes, and you do get used to the bike that you sit on. So, well, although that's inconvenient, it's rather fortunate that he's here and racing, and that's the crucial thing, that he's fit and well. These are the things that can happen. But have a look at this, just pushing and racing. Just one of the competitors. There's that breathing on both sides as well, Redders, just so you can see how you're going, which is sort of crucial. Otherwise, if you're just on one side, you get in your own little world and you're not aware of what's going on around you, and that's something that you have to practice. And there we can see that black arch is what they aim for. They go in, Well, just to the right of that is the buoy, but when they come around next time, they go through that into the transition area. But on this particular occasion, there's a marker on the beach. They sprint towards that and then do it all again. A little bit of a wave just coming across them there, what they get used to.
It's one of our race referee there, Sue Fairweather from Australia.
Head referee, if you don't mind.
Head referee.
Keeping a close eye on things.
Big shout out to our TOs. Have been all day yesterday with the para race, and now another 6 to 7 hours on course today with the juniors and leads. And here it is. Liam Jones has stood up first.
Look who's there as well.
Braden Mercer's right there as well.
So it is Jones just in front of Mercer.
Jack Crome is there in third. So Australia 1, 2, 3, and then it looks like it's Corbett.
Yeah, it is. Corbett,
James Corbett from New Zealand, and Oscar Dart, and Brandon Copeland not far behind as well, showing some good wading skills there.
So that's as they go round back out. So that was young Oscar Dart. He's had 55 start, 10 podiums and 3 wins in the latest major race at Napier. He was 23rd. Some good performances throughout 2024, with probably his best was the 2024 Asia Triathlon Cup, where he came 3rd. So they're back out on the swim, and of course, as we mentioned, the under-23 athlete who's starting to really perform well is Braden Mercer. That's second in Napier and first in his home course there in Noosa. There we go from the water perspective. Swimming nicely, getting that instinct. Look at them. Going very nicely, getting in a nice rhythm. It's quite interesting to see the differences. You get the power a couple of strokes, and then occasionally you just lift that head up slightly, but of course you don't want to do that too often. You want to try and set your course. Well, this is a little bit more interesting on the second time round, Redders, because you understand exactly where you need to be. You understand the tides, the swell, because you've just done that lap.
Yeah, and a bit of fatigue as well. Like you've swum, and then suddenly you stand up and you've got all that blood pooling in your arms, and then you've got to suddenly be, getting back onto horizontal again, so the blood flow everywhere. As we have a little bit of confusion with our camera there, that's getting a bit of a wash.
Yeah, so they'll be working very hard, and we're back to the drone now of our swimmers.
But a lovely leg it was.
It was a lovely leg, and just sort of getting a little bit of the wake as well from that rubber ducky. They're quite over now. They're going to have to all but sort of swim back. It's quite deceptive, but almost just sort of swim back to get around that first can.
Yeah, had to get their angle a bit better there, but they are strung out, so the pace is on. They're not bunching up. Some very strong swimmers there. Like certainly, Lachlan Jones, very strong swimmer. We expect from Braden Mercer, famous name in surf life saving in Australia, and we know that Brandon Copeland is a seasoned swimmer as well. So we're expecting a fast swim, and I think it could be a little bit like the last race, where if you can make that front pack of 5 or 6 or 8. It could stay away.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned, strong swimmer in Jones, who, of course, last year had his first win in the 2024 Asia Triathlon Cup in Hong Kong. Had 5 podiums, but gee whiz, with that win, that really probably could give him some confidence coming in to this particular race. He's, of course, the 24-year-old, born in 2000, as they go round this can here. It's such a different race, isn't it, Redders? And we saw that in the ladies division in compared to the sprint distance. There's just so many changes. It surprised us, didn't it?
just got caught up on the buoy there. That's
you got to watch that, don't you? You even mentioned that in the last one there. Again, with that rope, you just got to be careful. You don't want to get entangled in that. It can not only slow you down, but it just sort of annoys you. It just gets within your psyche. You don't want any of those upsets. It just all of a sudden you have to switch back on for those little things that can come. It's who handles those things better, basically. And there are the two cans that are out there. That's the parallel one where they swim now back towards the big Tasmanian black arch here in Devonport on the northwest coast of Tasmania. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time over the weekend, it's the 40th anniversary. It's certainly a festival of triathlon here in Devonport and in Tasmania. We hope that you enjoy the coverage, especially as well to our friends who are watching in New Zealand.
Yeah, so the famous Bass Strait is behaving itself today, Hobby. Notorious rough stretch of water between Tasmania and mainland Australia, and they've got the perfect conditions.
They have.
And they are on their way home. And as I said, they're looking for that big black arch, the Tasmanian arch, at the steps to transition. And there's a distinct gap. This group, there's another little gap there, and there's another big gap to the next group. So there's certainly going to be some carnage here in the first couple of laps of the bike, the first time up North Street Hill.
Have a look at them there, the arms flailing. They're trying to get that big extra kick. There is a group that has made a little bit of a gap, as we can see here. So they are really pushing hard to get to the beach first, get up, get into the transition, and get on your bike towards the hill for the first time. As you alluded to, there's been a slight change in what was advertised just for safety reasons. So it is 8 laps of the course, which amounts to 40 kilometres of exertion before you get to the running leg. Working their way forward, sprinting now. It's a really big kick. You can see the cadence of their arms is pushing over, the rhythm. Just trying to get a handle. We'll get some information to you when they get up out of the water. But here we are back from the boat, which is a tremendous position to show us who's leading here. All we can say, it's I think that, let's have a look here. At least they got a couple of numbers there, which rules a few people out of it, Redders. We knew that Braden Mercer was up there just a few minutes ago, and Lockie Jones, but coming right in now, getting close towards the beach. That's 21, I think that is Braden Mercer, who might be out in front there, Redders.
Yeah, certainly a talent. Had a breakthrough win at Noosa Triathlon, as we mentioned earlier in the year, back in October. Fantastic race, and really making his mark in triathlon.
Of course, competing in this event, he is an under-23 athlete. But we did find in the last event that it was an under-23 athlete that was able to cross the line, albeit only by 7 seconds, but 7 seconds is enough as long as you get across first. 1 second will do the trick to get the gold medal. So here they come.
Yeah, look, we think we can see Braden Mercer there, and Brandon Copeland's there. Jack Crome is in there, Oscar Dart, and Corbett as well. So there's Jack Crome. So Braden Mercer, Jack Crome. We've got James Corbett from New Zealand sitting right there as well. So great swim from him.
So these two young fellas representing Australia in the under-23s on each other's heels as they make their way up out of the water into the transition area, where they'll throw the cap, put the helmet straight on, grab their bike, and out they go. Crome just got away a little bit better there, Redders. There was just didn't quite get the clip in that particular time by Braden Mercer.
Lachlan Jones is there, Corbett's there. So here they come out. Crome's first, Braden Mercer's second. Brandon Copeland, James Corbett's right there, Lachlan Jones, Saxon Morgan on the borrowed bikes right there, and I just missed that other...
Kurt Wesley.
Kurt Wesley from WA, so
Yep.
fantastic swim from Kurt Wesley. And that is a formidable group. They are going to be pretty tough to catch.
Yeah, it was Kurt Wesley, Oscar Dart. We're certainly getting some information. Henry McMurking, there, Ty Davis. So all coming out, getting on their bikes. Just looking at them here, some have got the feet in, some haven't yet. They're just deciding to get some momentum going first, and why not indeed? As they get on their bikes and they make their way, they go away from us towards the city of Devonport. Then they have a little turn, and then they come back and they'll fly past us. So it'll be interesting to see as they go forward from there. So there they go. So 3 are out in front, then another group of 3.
Yeah, Kurt Wesley just trying to get his feet in his pedals, into his shoes there. So they should come together, that group.
Yeah, you would
and
think
they'll
so.
ride pretty well. And then the rest are going to find it very hard to get back on.
Here they come. The rest of the elite athletes are coming out of the water. As just have a look here. So it was Jack Crome who... Oh, let's have a look here. Hope that particular athlete has maybe had a bit of an injury. I just trying to check here.
I think it's
36.
It's Christoph Gardner from Australia. So
yep.
He's looking a little bit distressed. So whether he's got an injury or something like that.
Yep. I'm sure that we've got plenty of people in that aid position. They'll get down to him. Maybe his race is over. As that is Hickey who goes out. That's Rowan Hickey in the under-23s has gone out. Another athlete.
And Larkham from New Zealand as well, so I'm not sure what's happened there.
So that's Oliver Larkham.
Is he issue with his bike or...
Oh, what's happened here?
Looks like he could have some cramp. Yep, looks like he's got a cramp or he's hurt his hamstring.
So that is... Well, Gardner's still going now. So maybe trying to work their way through. This is courageous stuff. So hopefully it was just some cramps. And now he's able to recover. And, well, this is going to show some great fortitude, Redders. He's going to come up the stairs, maybe have a bit of a stretch out on the limp, but we'll follow that with great interest to see indeed if that's an injury that won't... Well, it looks to me like it's cramping because he's put the helmet on and now going to go out. It'd be easy, wouldn't it, Redders, to think, no, my day's done.
Yeah, it would be, but he's fighting on, boxing on, so very brave. It can happen for people that are not used to racing this late in the afternoon, haven't hydrated properly. Yeah, look, it was a really exciting group that came out. It was very strong. Obviously we mentioned Braden Mercer was there, Jack Crome, Brandon Copeland, James Corbett, Lachlan Jones, and I'm pretty sure Saxon Morgan made that front group as well, so it'll be interesting in 5 in that top group.
And here we are now back on, which is magnificent. So well done to all the crew and working hard to make that happen. So we're seeing the racers coming around that tight area, quite technically involved there. They'll get the rhythm of it because they're going to be doing it 8 times as they power down towards the corner there, go round pretty quickly. They go wide and then really shoot down. And we've just seen them come past us, Redders, and my goodness me, they are travelling very, very fast. So we'll get a bit of an update on our live. Look at that. So 24:47. What do you got for us?
Yeah, James Corbett from New Zealand lead them through. Brandon Copeland's in that group. Lachlan Jones, Jack Crome, and Saxon Morgan from New Zealand, and Braden Mercer. So that's our lead group of 6.
Yep.
Have just gone through to complete their first lap, and then we'll try and get a gap to who's in the chase pack.
Here they come now, Redders, as they've just whooshed past. So there we are.
I can see Oscar Dart from Victoria in that group. Who we got? Darcy Williams, Callum McCluskey's right there. He's had a great swim. Henry McMecking from there. Grayson Westgate from New Zealand. And Jaden Schofield's there. Ivan Abelli from New Zealand is in that group. And Luke Schofield is in that group. Reese Harris, Leighton Wall, and Ty Davis. So, good group and a good chase group. And they're only, what have we got them at? They're not that far behind. No. So, only about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. I had about 30 seconds, mate, as we see the group getting organised, nice and ordered down the straight. Then it gets a bit, how's your father when they go round the corner?
Yeah, look, I see Kurt Wesley's in that group. Like, he was up the front, but he's obviously been peeled off the back and is now riding in the chase group as well. So it's one lap down.
It was interesting just there. We saw someone just crossing the road. They're taking their life in their own hands. You got these guys here, they're going so fast, so just be aware if you are out there watching as we're seeing some of the competitors go about their work. We saw that was Cooper Lee from Australia working absolutely beautiful. These are great shots and we see them sort of so close up, Red, as you can see the expressions on their face. They're working hard. This is a very fast pace.
They are. The pace is on. There's a lot of young enthusiasm in this group. And the front guys are very strong swim bikers. They're not going to hang around, so you need to work really, really hard. That chase group has to get organised.
Yep.
And I sort of feel like it may be too big to have the organisation to chase down. And if the front group's organised and committed, they could open up this gap.
So from your experience, it was interesting you just then, let's just tap into what you just said. Sometimes when it is a larger group, there's a little bit more confusion. If we've seen in the past, most of the breakaways, probably the most we had 8, then that dropped away to 7 and 6, and that's probably the amount, really, would you have thought?
Yeah, as long as everyone's committed.
And they were in the previous races, weren't they?
Yeah, and they will be. And in the bigger groups, some will try and sit on, some will work, and then some people will override to try and compensate, and everyone's got to commit if they want to close gaps down. So it's going to be really interesting.
Okay, so
here they go. Our
all right, so coming up the hill now, pushing beautifully. We can see some of the expressions on the face. It is the big hill as they come up. They get out of the saddle. It is Corbett from New Zealand. You can see Jones just on the wheel there. Seems reasonably comfortable. You can see them pushing very, very hard, making sure they're in the right gear. The last thing they want to do is drop a chain or anything of this nature, just looking around, seeing who's with them. Has everyone come up? And they certainly have.
Saxon Morgan on borrowed bike, not his usual road bike, so he's doing very, very well. And here comes the chase pack as well. And they're moving along pretty well, so they could get in there.
So it's great to have the vision back. And you can see the expression on these races here, Redders.
Yeah, look, they've got target on their back. They'll try and come down. The Schofield twins are there riding that group. And they're trying to push it up over that hill. So second time up, 8 times up the hill is not going to be fun for these guys. Those that are coming to Devonport many times know the work that needs to be done. And we've just got someone into the commentary box with us who one of our high performance coaches in Dan Atkins. Welcome, Dan.
G'day, Craig. Thanks for having me. I'm a bit nervous at the moment, but
I know. So you've got a few athletes in this race. Obviously, one's Braden Mercer. Tell us a bit about the plans for young Braden.
Well, he obviously had a great start of the season in Napier, and to us that know him, it wasn't necessarily a shock, but definitely a great race for him to start the season, and just showed his pure grit. So for him this weekend, he unfortunately had a bike crash on the Monday before this race and got hit by a kangaroo of all things. So he's I was a bit worried about him coming down this hill today, but he's obviously gotten through it the first 2 laps there, and hopefully just stays attached, and he'll get through this 10K hopefully unscathed.
That's one thing that won't happen in New Zealand, will it?
No, it won't. And it's great to say only in Australia that can happen, but still a pretty big obstacle in front of him there.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what's his plans, and what other athletes do you?
Brandon Copeland's part of our squad as well in the front group there, and Brando's training for 70.3 Geelong next weekend too. So whilst trying to amass some really good points here this weekend, he's also looking towards that as well. But the two of them training together, hopefully they're speaking to each other and sort of feeding off each other's energy, and getting the other boys to hang around and work together to keep this chase pack away.
And what sort of specific work do you do for this race? You've been coming here a long time and you've had success on this course.
Yeah.
What sort of thing?
Look, I think over the last 15 years since I've been coming here, it started off where I had no idea. And then 15 years later, you sort of get a fair idea of it. And the great thing about Devonport, it's so many variables. You've got the run into the swim that could be tidal, so it's all different changes. Could be surf, the run up the beach on the sand, to obviously this hill. And doing just general hill training is really important, and doing some real good 1 minute efforts is part of the key to this race, I reckon.
And how's their form been going? Obviously, Braden had that breakthrough in Noosa, which was really exciting.
Yep.
But backed up with a really good performance in Napier at the World Cup as well.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's a great squad. We've also got Matt Hauser in the squad, which I'm sure everyone knows who Matty is, and the boys are just great mates on the field and on the paddock, but they're also very supportive of each other. So I know that Matt will be sitting home cheering on the boys, yelling and screaming at the telly with his beautiful dog and girlfriend there, and he'll be cheering these two boys on. But we do a bit of training with Lockie too, so it's not unfamiliar for these boys to be riding together as they whiz past us here.
Yeah, they certainly fly, and they've got the pace on. James Corbett leading them through from New Zealand. So what should we expect from this race? You sort of know who's got the form and who's racing well, and it looks like there's a bit of a breakaway there, was it? James Corbett trying to push away. What's your expectations for the race and to pan out?
Being this early in the season, I think it's still, you're testing a lot of things, a lot of new things you've tried in the off-season, whether it's, for us, it's a bit of nutrition. It's just trying to mature the boys in around how to handle more nutrition in this so they can back-end the run. The running at the world level, at WTCS level, is obviously getting faster and harder, as the bike is too. So you want to check and challenge that in training, and we've done a lot of that in the off-season. We've got a great support team there at the QAS to help us get ready for these sort of events. So there's a lot of testing going on today, and fingers crossed for myself that it all comes off, but so far so good.
So we've got a time gap there, so it's about 30 seconds, so I'm staying there. Sorry about that. So who do you think's got the run legs later in the race?
Well, for me personally, I really love to see Brandon Copeland take this on. Obviously, we've got Cal McCluskey there, who is a WTCS athlete and arguably one of the quickest runner, who got a bronze medal in Napier there with a sprint finish with Braden 2 weeks ago as well. So we know, in our pre-race chats that Cal will be coming, and he's an athlete that, I really like the guy, but I want to see my guys sort of take him on too with the run. So Cal's only 30 seconds down there, and it's going to be a good foot race if Cal's 30 seconds down against these guys. Yeah,
well, we saw in the women's race where two athletes from the Chase group, over a minute down, ran through and to get on the podium from Lauren Kerwick and Nicole Vanderkant.
I was only, not a word of a lie, I was riding the other day, and it was pouring with rain on the Goldie, and we were riding with Lauren, and I looked at her and I went, God, you look really fit, you look strong, you look happy. And so when I was seeing her run through, I was getting goosebumps, because I just love seeing these breakout races, and maybe a breakout race will come from this front group. We got Lockie Jones there as well, he's really been ploughing away the last 5 years, and a lot on his own and doing things his way, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come out and have a really great race, being inspired by Lauren, who's a good friend of his as well.
And how often do they get to race the Olympic standard race these days? Like, it feels like we don't see that many of it.
You don't, Redders, and it's a thing that you're always preparing for it, because it still is our Olympic distance race, and that's the thing that we're all here for. We're all trying to continue ploughing away to make those Olympic teams, and as a letter of the law, you've got to prepare for standard distance. So these guys might only get 2 or 3 opportunities a year, especially your development athletes. So you've got to really look at how the racing's been done worldwide, not just in Australia. You've got to look at the data, the information that other people are running, and you really got to put your training around that, because we don't get enough of it. I must be honest.
Well, Dan, I know you got athletes out there, so we'll let you go back out onto the course. Thanks so much for having a chat with us, and we might try and catch up with you a bit later on.
Thanks, Redders. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. That was Dan Atkins, the coach of, a couple of athletes in that lead group. young Braden Mercer and Brandon Copeland, and also doing some work, he said, with Lachlan Jones as well. So he can go back out there and be nervous with his athletes on the course. And they are absolutely flying, these guys. You can feel the speed going in it as they come up. James Corbett is certainly riding a very prominent position for New Zealand. He is certainly dictating terms on that bike.
Yeah, he is. It's. I was interested to see, and they're suggesting that maybe on the run, Callum McCluskey is an interesting one to watch. Well, he came third just recently in Napier. He's had 7 wins from his 94 starts and 19 podiums, and you almost heard he's been ploughing away at it, and maybe that could be a breakout one. And the same with Lockie Jones, which was interesting as far as he was concerned. So maybe a biased perspective, but wasn't it great to get that inside running?
Yeah,
really good.
I managed to catch up with Braden Mercer before the race this weekend, and I did have a chat with him, and he was pretty relaxed and pretty confident in backing his training, and we might see shortly if we can cross to that chat that I had with him just recently.
Yeah, that'll be really, really good. So, as they do come down, they're sprinting down there. Just fantastic. Hard around the corner. And I'm just getting... it's so satisfying, isn't it, when we are getting people texting in and things like that. They're enjoying the race, and there's my good friend Rod Frank standing in front of a screen. I tell you what, it's deceptive to see here, Red. Of course, Rod's only 4'11", and when you see him in front of that screen, it's probably only a small screen, but it looks pretty big to me. And hello to Rod and Jill Franks and Tommy and Ella. Good luck to you tomorrow in your races.
Lachlan Jones was certainly riding a really good position there at the front through that technical section. He really looks like he's on today, so as Dan mentioned, he'd love to see him have a breakout race as well.
Well, you did say that you had a chat to Braden Mercer. I think we've got that interview ready. Let's go and have a listen to what Braden Mercer had to say about the race.
Braden Mercer, welcome back to Devonport. What are your expectations for the race this weekend?
I mean, my expectations are like every expectation for me going into every race, and that's just give my best of what I can do on the day. I mean, I've obviously known I've done the training as best I could up to this point, and I think it's just, go out there, race hard, and enjoy it most of all. Like I do every race, I really enjoy what I do, so I think go out there, race hard, and then result will take care of itself.
It's a great way to look into the races, and you've really been showing some form. You had that breakthrough result at Noosa. Tell us a little bit about that race. That was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Noosa is probably the biggest triathlon in Australia, and first ever Noosa for myself, so same mentality as what I just told you before going to that race. It was just go there, have fun, race hard, and then that's what I did, played to my strengths, and then it worked out well on the day, of course. Like being able to win on essentially a home race was very special, and it will be one to remember forever, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But look, you followed that up, you're showing some good form, you're on the podium at the World Cup in Napier. Yep. Tell us about that race.
Yeah, that was obviously first race after Noosa, and then the first race of this year, and then my first World Cup podium as well. So same thing as what I said before. I just knew I was training well, and I thought I wanted to back up well from Noosa, and obviously had that confidence post that race. And I think that's the big thing for athletes, knowing you can do it and believing that you can do it, and then once you do it, then doing it, of course. And then got to Napier first race, and was obviously keen to just put a good first one on the board for this year. Obviously we've got the world champs in Wollongong at the end of the year, so I'm looking forward to having another strong year this year. And I think just got to that race, did what I do, played to my strengths, and then again had another great result there, so very happy.
Oh, well done. So what do you know about the Devonport course, and what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a great surf swim, a beautiful day today, so hopefully this is what it's like on race day. I've only ever done sprint here, so Olympic distance will be a good challenge, but obviously I like Olympic and a bit longer, so we'll see how we go. And obviously there's obviously the key points in the race, like the hill, but at the end of the day, it's just another hill, and I think that's how you got to look at it. And it's going to be fun racing for sure, and I'm really excited to race here for the 40th anniversary as well.
Good getting, 40 years here at Devonport. So the North Street Hill 7 times up that. Yep. How do you feel about that?
I reckon it'll be fine. Like, that's what we train for, you got to be able to do anything, if it's big surf, if it's a big hill, a hard run course, hot weather, cold weather, there's all elements that every race is different, and I think if you want to be the best triathlete, you got to have an arsenal full of little tricks in your sleeve, and you got to be able to adapt to any situation, any course, and I think that's what it's all about.
Fantastic. So obviously you mentioned Wollongong World Champs this year, home country world titles. So what are your goals for that?
Yeah, I think obviously the goal is to have a good year leading up to that, have some good results, and then just go there and obviously race hard in front of a home crowd and get the best result I can. That's the goal for sure.
All right. Thanks, Braden. Good luck for the race on Saturday and good luck for the rest of the year.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
It was great to get an insight there from Braden Mercer, who's doing well, but just a few seconds ago, my goodness me, at the start finishing line, Redders, it was action stations as the lead group went through with the chase group. There's 35 seconds between them, and it was fascinating to hear a couple of the coaches be just shouting at the top of their lungs, 35 seconds, work together. It was interesting, wasn't it? Really giving it to them.
Giving them the time gaps, certainly giving some emphasis. Look, they're riding well, but that gap is just staying around that 30-35, so they're holding their own. That's a very gettable gap. For runners like Callum McCluskey, that's certainly a gettable gap. 45 seconds back to the third chase group.
Yep.
So,
well, let's go through, mate, and recap for everyone who's watching where the people are.
Yeah, look, so James Corbett, Braden Mercer, Brandon Copeland, Lachlan Jones, Saxon Morgan, and also Jack Crome is in that lead group. And then in the chase group at about 35 seconds, we've got Jaden Schofield, Henry McMeeking from New Zealand, Callum McCluskey, Leighton Wall, Luke Schofield, Darcy Williams, Ty Davis, Reese Harris, Grayson Westgate from New Zealand is in that group as well. Oscar Dart, Ivan Abelli from New Zealand is also in that group. The third chase group, we have got Joan Collin, Rory Thornhill, Cameron Maunder from New Zealand, Gus Marfield from New Zealand, and then we're going back to another 40 seconds back to Kai Wild, Reeve Dooney, Sebastian Asher, and Logan Campbell.
Well, mate, just even in those couple of lead groups, there's 17 names, and we know from the experience of the ladies' race, it is nothing. We can, we were thinking, yes, it's all about that front group, and they came from the clouds. This is the testing moment. 8 times up this hill, and it certainly tests you on the run.
Yeah, and look, and James Corbett has certainly been very prominent over this hill. So is Brandon Copeland. You can see Braden Mercer there to the left. Lachlan Jones, he's on too. He's racing really well. Fantastic crowd up on the hill now, watching them suffer as they go over the top. Yeah,
I was just about to say they're saddest, aren't they? They're getting up there and seeing the stress on their faces.
And here's that chase group, and look, that gap may have opened a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if these guys, we've got 5 committed guys at the front. This group's probably, just as I mentioned before, probably a little bit too big. But they are
Schofield's pushing hard, mate. Look at him.
The 2 Schofield twins.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. I went down and I saw them, and I went past the first one and thought, g'day there, and said g'day, and I went a bit further. Didn't I just see you? Yeah, they're old twins.
Yeah,
old chestnut.
No, Luke and Jaden.
Yeah, they're rippers.
Heading off as well.
And down they go. Look at that, getting in that fast position.
Yep.
What about for all our people who are watching who know they're going to be out in the track tomorrow? Wow, look at that. It's going to be coming very, very fast down here as they get in position. Aerodynamically getting very, very low, and then they put that leg out to get their balances, a quick acceleration, and then they have to go wide, and this is quite technical. You can put the brakes on now, and it's about timing, getting the right gear, getting up out of the saddle, pushing hard, and then back into that rhythm to come back around the corner.
Yeah, James Corbett, he's showing really good bike skills through that area. He's riding really well, riding good position, staying out of trouble.
Well, let's be clear, New Zealand is somewhat similar to Tasmanian conditions. They've got mountains that actually double the size of ours, so maybe could be a bit used to those conditions. So around they go. Still pretty warm here in Devonport. Overcast conditions. Had a major electrical storm here just earlier during the week. It's been very, very warm. Thankfully at the moment it is overcast, so it'll be still very, very hot racing out there.
Yeah, we think we're going to be safe. There is a forecast rainstorm to come through, but we're pretty confident we're going to get these athletes off the bike course before the rain gets to keep them safe. Otherwise, it's just another issue they've got to deal with during the race.
Yeah, we don't want to see that. That's really challenging conditions, although it certainly will test not only the skill or their mental capacity to how hard they push. The reality is these tyres don't particularly like the wet going into corners. Let's be clear on that. I know that from experience.
We had many of the athletes were actually arriving on Thursday with the rain, and we'd had amazing weather. It's actually been very dry here in Tasmania. So that rain, the last couple of days, absolutely perfect yesterday for the World Para Series, and now they're turning it on today. It's actually the perfect conditions, not too hot. I think these athletes will be relishing this temperature. Yeah,
very much so. So what do we hear? They're actually on the lap 4 of 8, and some work to be done. We got a little bit comfortable, I think, in the previous race, thinking it was sort of all over. But I'm very pumped to see these guys, to see what's going to happen. You can see already Corbett, who's having a great race, just looking behind him. I just can't get over the pace that they're at. They are really flying, aren't they?
Yeah, 4. I'm pretty sure that's lap 4 down. So
yeah, that's 4 down. They're into lap 5 now, the lead group. So keep an eye on that, Redders, for the gap. So they've been racing 46 minutes and 55 seconds in that lead group. So it is Corbett, Cromie, Copeland, Mercer, Jones are still up there, as well as Morgan in that lead group. There they go out. So they actually go past us as we look back on the hill. There's a heap of people up there watching as they go round, and the vision there is young Dion Warwork. But back to the leaders, and there they go, the backs of their outfits, which is very handy when you see the names on their back sides, trying to get organised. There's a couple of New Zealanders heading out in the front, and they're being hard chased by the 4 Aussies.
Yeah, look, we're sitting at around 42 seconds, so they're just starting to ease it out again.
Well, that went out because it was 35 seconds.
So same as the women's race, it's just easing out 10 seconds a lap, which can be very significant by the end of the bike.
Yeah, well, it is very significant. There's no doubt about that. And we heard some of the coaching staff and or supporters urging that lead pack to get organised, work together, and that's exactly what they did on that last lap as they put in an additional 10 seconds on the chasing group. As we see them going down, there's humps to negotiate, there's some rail tracks. The road itself is really good conditions. The other thing is probably the camber of the road, which is quite significant, isn't it, Rez?
Yeah, certainly in certain sections you try not to get an off camber corner as our Kiwi athlete goes flying around there.
Yeah, I think that was young Dion Warwork, I think, as we coming back around again. Oh, there's a bus on course. Let's hope you don't come around the corner and see the old Metro bus coming at you.
Very lonely race for Dion, who...
that's Dion Warwork from New Zealand, who...
sort of caught no man's land there. He can pick up with these guys and they can work together and try and limit their damage when they go through.
Yeah, sort of you can keep the conversation no matter where you are. You can try and let's see if we can't work together and put ourselves in our best foot forward when it comes to the run section of the race. Of course, it's 40 kilometres, the standard, which is interesting because, again, I go back as some of the happy crowd. It's the majority of the races that I used to do back in the day were of that distance, Redders, but now it's all over the shop. There's so many races to be had, but let's be clear, no matter what you win, you would love to stand on the dais at an Olympic Games, and we have LA to look forward to, and then of course we've got Brisbane, and it'll be fascinating to see if any of these athletes are going to be around to race for their countries then, as the groups are going up the hill.
And they are rocketing around this course.
They are.
Madison heading up again.
2 New Zealand boys. So it's Corbett and Morgan. And then Cram, Copeland, Mercer, Jones, all going with them. It's a great angle that we have there, isn't it? When you see, and so they've got the full hill, and we haven't sighted that pack chase in there. They get up there, there's a little bit of an undulation, and here they come now. Another up, and then they turn around and they absolutely put it in angel gear as they pedal hard towards the downhill section.
Interestingly, in that lead group of 6, we've got 3 Open Elite athletes and 3 under-23 athletes.
Yeah, okay.
As we mentioned, the under-23s are eligible to win the overall elite race. And so, not that they're thinking about that at the moment, they're thinking about that hill and getting down. And here's our chase pack.
It is the chase pack.
See the lead pack on the way back down the hill.
Still keeping together there.
Bumping his shoulders.
Yeah, it is.
As they went up.
Got to be really cautious about that. And down they go now. And I think that's Jones who might be just in front. He's quite distinctive out of those athletes. He's got the old ink on the arms there. Some of those other athletes get a bit bored. They get the colouring pencils out there and have a bit of a play on the arm. No, he's a ripper. Look at him grimacing. He's looking like he's trying to get ahead, but there's nothing between all of that group there now. They're hanging on.
Yeah, they're riding hard too. Like Jack Crone was just have to work really hard on that rear wheel. You get that concertina effect around the U-turn, and you've got to put out a lot more wattage to get back onto that back wheel.
Yeah, you don't want to relax at all, do you, Redders? If you actually drift off, switch off at all, you drop back maybe a couple of metres, can turn to 5 to 10, and you're gone. And you don't want that to happen, because there's a few petrol tickets you have to expel to get back onto the group.
As we see Rory Thornhill from Australia leading that chase group up over the hill. So this is our second pack, and they're just starting to get a little bit disjointed here.
They are, aren't they? They're not working as they were before.
So it's number 12, Reese Harris from Australia, leading them out around that corner.
I saw Jaden Schofield, Luke Schofield in that group as well.
Yeah, if they go to sleep here and don't get organised, the lead group is going to open up very quickly, especially 3 boys that train together, that know each other very, very well. They're going to work hard for each other to get the biggest lead they can, to hold off the likes of, the Callum McCluskeys in that chase group.
There we just saw Reeve Dooney going up past us, working really hard from New Zealand. Again, for all our friends in New Zealand, we hope that you're enjoying telling us a beautiful country. Had the good fortune to be there a couple of times. So well done by him.
And once again, I had a little bit of a chat with Callum McCluskey today. Before the race earlier in the week, and we'll hopefully get a chance to hear what Callum's got to say.
Yeah, that'll be great. It'd be great to get inside to see what his thoughts were. I'm sure we'll get that interview ready in just a few moments. But there we go. Look at our leaders. I think they're up and going past someone. They're not being lapped, are they, Redders?
I think they're just swapping their turns.
Just swapping their turns. I apologise.
So 3 laps to go, 5 down, 3 to go, 15 kilometres, 3 more times up the North Street Hill.
Yeah, they are getting organised, aren't they? They're sort of working together, and it sort of shows, because they've seemingly are increasing their lead over the racing, the trailing pack, as there is Will Taylor. That cuts a lone figure coming up the hill here. He's working hard. Well done, Will.
So the loneliness of the long-distance cyclist.
Yeah, the good thing is, and here are our leaders. And we can hear the shouts out from the coaches. That's 1 minute, 1 minute. Come on, come on.
See if we can get the official timing, but it's probably.
I reckon it's pretty accurate.
It's going to be pretty close.
So there's the chasers as we see them go past us. By gee, they're working hard now. it's sort of races within races. There's no doubt about that.
It's pretty close. I'm giving it 55 seconds.
So
55 seconds to them. So it is blowing out. You could see that group was getting disjointed and they were losing their initiative to work, and the front group's committed, and so suddenly it's almost a minute lead, and they've still got 15k to go. So if they're not careful, they could lose another minute in the last 15 kilometres.
Yep. So just to recap there, Redders, for all of our viewers, it's Jones, Morgan, Corbett, Crome, Mercer and Copeland
in that lead
in
group.
the lead group.
And then the chase group, we've got Abelli from New Zealand, Wall, Darcy Williams, Jaden Schofield, Reese Harris, Luke Schofield, Callum McCluskey's there, Harry McMeeking from New Zealand, Grayson Westergate is also in there, Ty Davis, Oscar Dart, and yeah, that's that chase group right there with Oscar Dart towards the back of that. So
yeah, it goes off a bit then, doesn't it? I think it's Goss, Marfell, Young Colin, Rory Thornhill, just falling off into that next group.
yeah, they're another minute back, so
Correct.
they're looking at being just under 2 minutes from the chase pack, from the lead pack, I should say.
Yeah, very much so. So it again, as we just sort of move to, it is that lead group that's doing very nicely. They're organised, they're ordered, they're working hard together, and they are putting a little bit of distance into the chase group, as we're seeing some of the other groups coming through now, trying to work together. So if you are falling behind, you have to get organised in groups and saying, come on, let's go together, let's push hard, otherwise we're going to find ourselves out of the reckoning. And it's crucial. It's wonderful learning experiences that you want to do the best you can in these races, win, lose or draw. It's a personal thing, and trying to get up, as we can see our leaders again, Redders, up they go in that climb. The two New Zealanders this time working hard together from the four Aussies.
Driving them well, they're riding really well.
They are riding well.
Just to say, head up, let's hear from Callum McCluskey.
Okay.
Callum, you've been to Devonport many times. You've been on the podium a lot, but not on that top step. So what's the plans for this weekend?
Well, yeah, as you said, I've never been on top of the podium, so would definitely be a goal of mine here in Devonport. And I think, I've probably just been a little bit off in the swim in some of my races here. So I think just looking to have a strong swim on Saturday, and that will set me up for a good race.
So you've started off racing already. You've done Napier World Cup and Abu Dhabi this year. So how's the season been going?
Well, it's still early days. Obviously, Napier was a great result on the podium again, and Abu Dhabi was another learning experience. So looking to build on those two races now.
You do have a good track record in Devonport. You obviously like the course and that hill. It's the 40th year of the Devonport Triathlon. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what you love about Devonport.
Well, I've been coming here since I was a junior, and when I was a junior, I definitely struggled up the hill and had my fair share of bad races here. But just got to have a tough mentality here. The course is hard. It's fair. It's honest racing. So yeah, you just got to be really strong and disciplined, and that's sort of the secret here.
So what are the plans? We know we've got a home World Championships this year, but what are you looking forward to the next Olympic cycle?
Well, yeah, after this race, I'll have a bit of a good training block, and then hopefully build into the next races in the season. And but just looking to be stronger over that World Series. Definitely target the World Series races, and just keep on improving at that level.
So really looking forward to Wollongong for Australian World Championships.
Yeah, well, hopefully I can be there. It's not a certainty for sure. So, but yeah, that would be great to race a World Champs at home. I was in the Gold Coast in 2018 and as an under 23, and that was my first World Champs. And so it would be great to be there again in Wollongong and race in front of my family and friends. That would be really good. And it's close to home for me, being from Canberra. So yeah, that would make it easy for my family to come and watch for sure. Yeah,
it's certainly a cheaper race for them to come and watch in your family. Oceania Championships, nothing to be to sneeze at. You're looking forward to stepping on top of that podium?
Yeah, for sure. I think you can't retire, or you can't be a good Australian triathlete until you've won in Devonport, I think. So, maybe I can retire if I win this race on Saturday, so I can hang up the boots.
that's a big call. I'm sure you got a lot more in you than yet, so we don't want to see you to retire. So good luck for Saturday.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
It's great to hear from Callum. Of course, he's in good form, Redders. He had that third in the Napier in the World Triathlon Cup, 94 starts, 19 podiums, 7 wins, and we heard earlier where expectation is with good running, he could be very much in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned about his swim, and I think he would have been happy where he was in the swim, but unfortunately just in that second pack, and they're losing ground to that, but he's a class runner. So as we saw in the women's race, this is certainly not over yet. We've still got a long way to go.
We have a long way to go. It is the standard distance of 1.5 kilometre swim, 40 kilometres on the bike, which is 8 laps of the course that you're seeing these athletes go around in, and then it's a 10 kilometre run. You just sort of say that, it rolls off the tongue, but after you've been up the hill 8 times, your legs are burning, and you've got to get out and sprint. And that's what the young ladies did, and our expectations, that's what these fit young roosters will be doing here in the Devonport race.
And here comes our lead pack. So 2 laps to go, so 10 kilometres to go. Now they've got to make a decision. We'll get a time gap on that, but 2 Kiwis, 4 Aussies, Trans-Tasman rivalry at its best, and this will be really interesting. Fantastic effort by Saxon Morgan, riding a borrowed bike after he was in an accident out on the roads of Devonport. Snapped his bike in half. He's
amazing.
okay, obviously raced, but had to borrow a bike to race today. And doing great well. It's just Kai Wild going around with that group.
So it was just Copeland that was pushing that group along. He was taking his turn up the front. Wily veteran there, 109 starts, 19 podiums and 9 wins. So now it's Corbett from New Zealand who's just taken the lead. But that group is sticking together. So we're going to get a split from you in a minute, Red, as we heard again the coaches sort of shouting instructions. And have a look at the twins. They just had a quick chat and they said, let's pick up the pace. That's what it said to me. And there they go together on each other's wheel.
Doing some work, trying to get away. Look, we've just ticked over 1 hour of race time. So we're 1 hour, 1 minute into the race. And look, the leaders went through in 1 hour, 1 minute, 45 seconds, and the chase group are at 1:02:52. So, it's eking out to further now, isn't it? It's 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Okay, so they really, that was a little bit, but not extreme, but still. And so in the chase pack, it was, leading the pack was Luke Schofield, 47 starts, 7 podiums, and of course a couple of wins. And just recently, we always go back to this form, of course, was in Napier, where he came 11th, and he's been caught as well by the New Zealander there. So just for a minute, they thought that they were going to make an assault, but been brought back to the pack.
So there's these athletes going up the hill. Is that a smile or a grimace there from...
I'm tipping it's a grimace. Without a doubt. It's tough work, I have to say. Maybe the years have hit me. I much prefer the ups than the downs, Redders.
Jet Courteous from New Zealand. He's coming out. Look, he's got the big smile on his face.
He knew the camera was on him. Good on you, son.
In fact, a big shout out to Jet's family and friends back in New Zealand. He's,
Absolutely.
He's enjoying his race, which is great to see.
That's right. We talk about this as if these guys are robots. If you're in the sport, look, of course it's serious, but for God's sake, enjoy it. Eh? What a privilege it is to be invested in sport, to try and make a quid, but just have some fun along the way. I think that's the key to it.
Maybe he was just smiling because he knew he was almost at the top of the hill. I'm not sure, but
hello, Mum.
Yeah, look, it's 2 laps to go, and here they go. So second last time up the North Street Hill.
Yep.
And they're all stuck together, and they are committed. They're riding well. They're pulling their turns.
They are, aren't they? Up they go. That is the lead pack. It's great that we go from one angle to the other. It's Jones taking them out. doing a great job. They're all of these lads. Corbett just in the middle there, and also Saxon Morgan, Copeland. They're all just taking their turn, just getting in behind, trying to get up as efficiently as they can do. And they're up and about, and as soon as they do get to that top point, they get back in the saddle and, well, I can't say relax, but then just sort of a couple of big pushes. They'll be coming back around in a few moments. G'day there.
The spectators out.
A lot of colour and pageantry here in the 40th anniversary of the Devonport Triathlon, one of the oldest and most loved, well organised. We heard that from our international athletes who were here yesterday, Redders. They all said how well organised this event is. Everything was running so smoothly.
And I mentioned to Rochelle Hill in the interview after her race, it's the 40th race, and some of the best from World Triathlons won this event on that honour roll, and she goes on as the 40th winner of how special. And someone in this race will also get that honour to be the 40th person to win.
What an honour. There is no doubt about that. As it's Jones, Copeland, Mercer, Corbett, Morgan, Cromie all coming around together. No one's been able to get any distance on each other. As soon as they get round there, they quickly get up, get some power, push down hard onto their bikes, and around they go again. Keeping it all nice together technically, just being careful. You can't lose concentration. We say it infinitum, Redders, do we? On this particular course, you cannot switch off at all. Some of the things, there's really, really long straights. You get into a rhythm, but here you've really got to concentrate.
This is our second chase group coming up the hill now. I believe there they are, going down the other side.
Yeah,
so the chase group are heading down the other side, and this is our third chase group coming up the hill.
I think that was Cameron, is it Maunda from New Zealand? Yeah, so it is, who's an under-23 competitor. There's him, Reeve Dooney, Kyle Wild. Let's have a look here. Logan Campbell as well. There's a few in that group.
And I can see Callum McCluskey riding third wheel there in this race. Oscar Darts there, Wall from Australia. There is some very capable athletes in this group, but that gap may be just getting a little bit beyond them.
Well, we'll see how much we'll hear from it. What are they on there? On the lap 7 of 8. So when they come round, it'll be the last one to go. We'll get some really clear indication of where they sit, whether they're actually working hard enough to close the gap, which I think you said a minute ago was 1 minute and 7. So they had stretched it out slightly.
So here's our leaders. They're coming in to get the bell lap past the Devonport Tennis Club there, Back Beach.
They still seem to be working together. No one's able to get any great distance at all. So whether there is going to be a breakaway or not, we'll keep an eye on that. As we see further afield, some of our other competitors are getting up the hill. I don't think anyone will be lapped at all, Redders.
No, it was Reeve Dooney from New Zealand that was there. And here they come through. So coming back past transition,
they're going to come
to
past
complete
us in a minute.
7 laps. And we will get a time gap. James Corbett, once again, he's pulling his turns, isn't he? Pulling his weight. Oh, a little gap there. Lachlan Jones has pushed forward as well.
Just a tiny one. We'll be interested to see when they go in that tight corner as they head back in towards the city of Devonport. There's a little turn just in a minute, which is a nice wide one, so they can probably go just that little bit quicker. You can see here they go where there's a right turn, and so they get a little bit wider, as you can see there, and then again push down hard as Jones will lead them back towards the start-finishing line.
So a race time of 1 hour, 9 minutes, 16 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see what that gap is. But it doesn't look like they're still committed, so I think they're going to hold that time, if not extend it.
We can see here, Redders, we cannot see the chasing pack. Oh, look at that. How's that for rivalry? They're sharing drinks. Pretty good.
Look, mates and mates.
Depends. Is that a special? Is a special juice? He's put something in it. Here, have this one.
Oh,
mate.
Look, he may well have lost a water bottle on
great.
a bump or whatever.
How good's that?
So that's fantastic sportsmanship there. And our chase group coming through now.
What have you got there, Redders? We'll get that information in a minute. It feels to me like it's probably extended slightly, but you'll get the accurate appraisal.
So they've gone through in 1:10.29, so about 1 minute 13.
Yep.
So it's staying a little bit.
1 minute 13 gap between these guys and the rest. It just depends now if they're prepared to continue to push, or do they start to become relaxed together?
Well, they are relaxed. They're sharing water bottles.
They are. They're absolute mates.
Yeah,
no doubt about that, which is
that's
terrific. And here is the pack trying to catch them up. They're looking around. That's McCluskey there, Dart, Schofield boys, as they go past us right in front of us now. They'll go round this corner, then a quick left, and again on their last lap, as you can hear the bell in the sound effects, and that's a very, very pleasant noise for them, knowing that they've only got one more lap. They've completed 7, they're on their 8th, and then they come back in and they get ready for the run. And is it going to be as exciting as the last race?
That third chase group's gone through in 1:11.26, so they're about a minute down on the second group. So that includes Gus Marfell from New Zealand and Rory Thornhill from Australia in that chase group.
So maybe it is reasonably prudent for everyone that is watching. You're wondering where everyone is, so let's just be clear on this. At present, it is Lockie Jones, James Corbett, Braden Copeland, Braden Mercer, Jack Cromie, and Saxon Morgan, who are in that lead group. Then there was a gap which went back to Grayson Westgate, Darcy Williams, Ivan Abel, Callum McCluskey, Henry McWelling. Let's have a look. Luke Schofield and Reese Harris. Who else have we got there? Oscar Dart, Leighton Wall. Who else is there? Jaden Schofield and Ty Davis. That'd be the second group, I think, Redders.
Yep.
And then we've got in the next group, which was chasing Gus Marfell, Rory Thornhill, Yohan Collin, Cameron Mortar, Reeve Dooney. Let's have a quick look here. Kyle Wilder, Logan Campbell. Who else is in that? William Taylor and Sebastian Asher.
So they're coming up the hill for the very last time, and I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty happy to see the turnaround at the top. And they've got to recover on this, and they're going to start thinking about the run leg. And gee, who's our runners in this group? It's going to be really interesting. I expect Brandon Copeland certainly is a strong runner. We've seen Braden Mercer's form, so he's running very well. I'm hearing that Lachlan Jones is also training the house down as well, so hopefully we'll see him run as well. And Jack Crome can run. Corbett also. So everyone in that group is more than capable of running off to the win. Chase group, we're thinking more Callum McCluskey.
Yeah, he's probably one that we were speaking about before, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, and probably Luke Schofield as well from that group.
Yep.
So we'll see how much the hill's taken out of them, but you'd expect to see maybe Schofield and McCluskey from the chase pack. But there's some really good runners in that front group.
Yeah, there are. Well, I just hope that we get something like we had in the ladies' event. That was just a cracker of a race. I mean, this is a ripper so far as they're coming down here. And what's going to be crucial is when they get into what is the transition. It is the fourth discipline, and they've got to do a very, very good job. They've got to get their helmets off. They've got to put it in their bin, ease out of the bike, get the sneakers on and away. No time for thinking. Just get out on the track and start your run.
And they haven't eased up. They are driving into it. So positioning will be crucial. We saw it with Aspen Anderson in the junior race before. Yep. We saw it with Jack Caldwell. They both got out first onto the run course. We saw it again with Hill in the elite women's race. Yep. And once again, it could be important to get that out onto the running course and clear course and just get into your rhythm and get your breathing right and get your pacing right.
Yeah, very much so. Up the hill again. Our leading group heading back towards their transition. And down they come, and thankfully it looks to me, Red, as although it's getting dark away to the northwest, where looks like we're going to get the bike out and done and dusted before any rain comes, which is great as far as I'm concerned.
Fantastic news too. We were a little bit worried that the storm would come through before the bike leg was finished, but great news. We'll get that done before, so one can finish the course safely.
We just saw there Grayson Westgate from New Zealand as he just shoots by us, Ivan Abel closely following him.
And I don't think anyone's been lapped out, which is fantastic news. We did have a couple in the women's race that got lapped out, but
there was a couple got lapped out, and I wasn't sure if there was something that happened to some gear, but everyone is going along very, very nicely.
They're now all onto their last lap, so
great.
That's fantastic.
So there is the vision coming down now towards the transition. This is where we spoke about. Very crucial. They're going to come little right-hander, sharp left. You can just see what lay before, and then a big left and
see the dismount line up there. You've got to make a decision, get your feet out of your shoes and on top of them. James Corbett's already off the bike and dismount, and they are
off and running.
Brandon Copland, Saxon Morgan, he'd be happy to get off his borrowed bike. Yep. James Corbett, so it's Aussie 1, Kiwis 2 and 3. Jack Crome's just tailing off the back there, but Brandon Copeland, who's a bit of a gun at these transitions, and he's going to lead them into T2.
He's pushing up now.
Saxon Morgan's there, James Corbett.
I was just about to say, great balance, and that's exactly what happened in the previous race. I hope it doesn't put him off, and the shoes coming on.
And look at those new padded.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Copeland is away. Fantastic transition.
Gee, that was good, wasn't it? Copeland got out well, didn't he? So the race in 2, right there, the 2 Aussie boys.
Yeah.
Jones, I think, was a close by.
And Lachlan Jones right there. So Copeland first, Jock. Braden Mercer just left a little bit now. He's just moved past Saxon Morgan to move into 3rd.
That's incredible. That is so crucial of a transition, Redders, because they all came in locked together, and they've come out, and there's a little bit of distance already.
It's an 8-second spread between first and last.
8 seconds, and they came in locked up.
And 5 seconds between second and third. So it is the 4th leg of triathlon, and that's 8 seconds you've got to make up now on the run. So extra energy you don't really want to spend, but fantastic start. But look at them, here they go. Here's our chase group coming in now.
All right, I'll let you keep an eye on those times there, as it's Copeland and Jones, as we can see from above, that have gone out on the first 1.25 section of the race. They go out and turn, and it's a 10-kilometre sprint to the finish.
Yeah, so we're hearing reports that Lachlan Jones has been training the house down. So
yeah, he has.
And we certainly know Brandon's abilities as well. So this is going to be an interesting race. And interesting that early, it looks a race to 2. But the other runners behind, they can't afford to panic.
Absolutely.
It's a long way to go.
Yep.
Need to just run their form. Callum McCluskey is now out onto the run course as well. So we'll try and get a gap there where that is. So he's gone out in 1:18.59. So they've dropped like a minute 20 he's got to make up on these 2.
Okay. This is where it gets really exciting down at ground level. You can hear the enthusiasm, the crowd, because they're running. There's people along the run course, which is, as I said, 1.25 kilometres away. So they're getting a lot of feedback and encouragement every step of the way, Redders, which really does get into your mind and gives you a lift. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, so Brandon Copeland, who hails from northern New South Wales, does a lot of his training on the Gold Coast. He is looking good, along with Lachlan Jones. 1-2. So they're both in the elite race.
Yep. Well, we had mentioned Copeland's form. 109 starts, 19 podiums and 9 wins. He was 24th in Dubai, 33rd in the championships. So not particularly high up, but we heard the block of training that he'd been doing is very, very good, which is similar to Lockie Jones as well. And there they are.
It feels like third and fourth are just starting to sort of move up. They've sort of measured their effort and are now just sneaking up onto the back of these two before they get to the turnaround.
Okay, so for the first time in the turnaround, and here are the chasers. That might be Mercer, but we'll get some clarity in a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary from that position where they came off the bike to get off. I mean, it just amplifies that fact of getting out from transition as swiftly as is possible. There's great visions as we've got a view from above and what lay ahead. So that gives us a good indication of the distance between the runners now, Redders. Beautiful vision here of the city of Devonport, which, for those who don't know it, is on the northwest coast of Tasmania.
I can see the Spirit of Tasmania, the ferry up in the top of the screen, and the Mersey River. But let's see if we can pick up our lead runners.
The show will go down there in just a few moments, but it is, without a doubt, just a lovely area here, a sports precinct of Devonport. We've got the activities for those on the old skateboard. How do you go on the skateboard, Redders?
I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you. Campbell.
Like my wrists, just like they are, thank you.
Yeah, I made a crucial mistake at under 17
Oh,
level.
look at this. James Corbett, he's made the move. He's gone bang, fantastic. Get up and cheer New Zealand. James Corbett has just gone bang, and he's trying to pull away.
He's come from the clouds.
He has. Brandon Copeland is just sitting on his heels, and so is Lachlan Jones. So he can settle this. So it's a race in three, and we can see Braden Mercer in the background there in fourth. But look at that. Well done, James Corbett.
Geez, in good form, Redders. He's just moving beautifully over the ground, and he came from absolutely nowhere. We had the top just while the cameras on the bike were getting organised, and we can see now these guys they're racing, aren't they? They're actually racing. You see Corbett then, he signalled, I think, come on, what about you, have a go? Or is he toying, saying, come on, I've got you covered?
Well, it's a good run. Look, he's the long way to go.
There you go, look. He said, come on, you have a turn. Let's see if the three of us can make some indentations on this.
Yeah, so Brandon's probably doesn't, in the Trans-Tasman rivalry, probably doesn't have to go to the front just yet, but no, they're pulling their turns and doing their work, and Brandon's coming through. He will never shirk his opportunity to do the work. James Corbett, he had a 14th at the Napier World Cup, so he's certainly improving on that result from New Zealand last week.
Yep, well, he's running very, very nicely. There's no doubt about that. He was 14th there, but he had that win in the Asia Triathlon Cup in Tokyo, which was a wonderful performance. So his 42 starts, he finally got that podium, and it was a win. So hats off to him, and he's joined these two Aussie boys, and they are running together. James has just sort of sat behind in there.
Yeah, and the trap for these, if they do just back off and start thinking about the podium with these guys, is the runners like McCluskey and Schofield, and also Braden Mercer could potentially run through. But they're coming up to complete their first run. They're probably about 400 metres from the run turnaround, so we'll be able to get a split of where everyone is.
Yeah.
And here they come into view.
So now, running together, this trio of athletes.
So Brandon
Copeland, Jones and Corbett.
Lachlan Jones, James Corbett, 1, 2 and 3.
So they're about to come past us.
2.5 kilometres down, and there you can see Braden Mercer in the background. Still not, by my reckoning, he's still the first under 23 actually in that group. So
they go round now, and it's going to be interesting because this is where it gets a bit of a mixture of other athletes.
Just opened a little gap there. So James Corbett was just a little bit slower around the turn, and he's a little bit taller than those guys, so he's got to get his canes back up and get back on.
So it is Jones.
And we've got about 16, 17 seconds back to Braden Mercer.
Okay.
And can Corbett get back on? Just probably getting a little lost in a little bit of traffic now.
You've got to be pretty wily here. You're going to take over and hide behind some of the other athletes.
Saxon Morgan's just gone through in around 35 seconds in there as well in 5th place.
Morgan. See Mercer in front.
So Saxon Morgan running in 5th, about 40, 45 seconds down on the leaders. And here is Jack Crome, who was in that lead group as well, coming through. So I wouldn't be too sure, we might see... And there he is, Callum McCluskey. I thought he wouldn't be too far away, so he's motoring as well. So he's going to catch his first athlete that was in the chase group, so he's got a target on his back. It'll be interesting to see what that time gap is.
Yeah, McCluskey looks like a runner, doesn't he? He's still standing really tall and going well, but these two boys, they've actually decided to go out to the front, as you said.
Yeah, so we've got a lap runner there sitting on the
till. Dion Warwork, who's just trying to hang in there.
He's going to hang in tough.
Look at him, he's hanging tough at the minute.
So he's probably thinking, this is pretty easy running with these leaders, but he's around. Callum McCluskey's gone around 130 down, so he's still got a lot of work to do to get up to these top four. I don't know whether James Corbett can get back on. Trying to get a view back to them, but
just got a glance of him just further back there. He is, mate.
Yeah, so he's not out of it.
Oh no, he came from the clouds before, so we know he's a runner. And I tell you what, it's certainly helping. I think that's Dion Warwork, isn't it? He's running really well. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, he could be a very, very good runner. He just tap in there at least. It's going to help him gain some valuable positions up the ladder. He's certainly going at a nice pace. So they're on the.
Yeah, so Brandon Copeland, he's in there, and Lachlan Jones are in 1-2, and then we go back to James Corbett in the bronze medal position currently for the elite race. And in the under-23 race, Braden Mercer is currently leading in the under-23s. I apologise, James Corbett's in the under-23s as well. So James Corbett is in the bronze medal position for the elite and currently in first position for the under-23. My apologies.
So this is
to the Corbett family back in New Zealand.
Yeah, so as it stands, you're quite right, mate. This is 1 and 2, and they are 1 and 2 in the elite, and then 3rd and 4th is actually 1 and 2 in the under-23s, and that being James Corbett from New Zealand and Braden Mercer from Australia, and then Saxon Morgan, Jack Cromie and Callum McCluskey as it sits. Those positions could change by the time they come around again when we get the timing chips, updating those positions.
Yeah, it certainly is, and this is Oscar Dart coming through, who was in that chase group. Young talented athlete from Victoria.
And they go right in front of us.
Just moving up from the junior ranks and really getting his first feel for the elite racing. And a lot of these athletes, as we know, haven't had that many 2-hour races under their belt. Jaden Schofield there as well.
It certainly is a different beast. It's quite fascinating to understand the training for all of the different distances. There is Jaden Schofield. That's Campbell following up.
Yeah, Logan Campbell from New South Wales. Kai Wild, almost one of the veterans of the race now. Very good cyclist. Training partner of Brandon Copeland there on the Gold Coast and Braden Mercer. So good to see Kai back out there on the race course. Very strong cyclist. So Kai Wild from the Gold Coast as well.
So when you say that, like veterans and all the rest of it, where is it that you sort of think you reach? It's really, the reality is in sports like this, you need some distance in your legs. And when is it that maybe you start to really come into your own? I would have thought in your late 20s anyway, really.
Yeah, look, it is. But I mean, so some athletes that got amazing longevity and can push on into early 30s, but they can stay injury free.
Yeah.
A lot of them sort of venture into the long course racing
Then, yeah.
by the time they get late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
But look, there's some athletes that have managed to push on and do very, very well. Especially some credible athletes, Swiss athletes,
Yep.
that have done that as well. So this is Dooney from New Zealand.
Yeah, Dooney from New Zealand. It's gone around, running nicely.
So hopefully we'll get our lead runners back on where the lead bike is.
Oh,
And there's
McCluskey.
McCluskey coming through.
Still looks in good form, Redders.
So he's not far from the run. Where are they on the run turn? Just get a picture of where they are. So he's very near the run turnaround. Curtis coming through as well. Just trying to pick up where our lead runners are. So is that McCluskey that's gone through? So they may well have turned and they're on their way back.
Yep.
Towards to complete their second lap. And here he is, Brandon Copeland, and has he broken away?
He has.
He's moved away.
Oh, a substantial lead.
So Brandon Copeland's made a move. What a fantastic move by him.
So Brandon Copeland, can't see Jones just at the moment. We'll just have to wait to see.
Just to make sure we've got the race leader, but he is looking really, really good. So unless something's happened to Lachlan Jones, Brandon Copeland is in the gold medal position as we come up to the 5K mark. I believe still about 500 metres to run to the turnaround to complete 5 kilometres.
So it is Brandon Copeland from Australia, going very nicely, looking very comfortable, just sort of checking the watch. And it looks to me, Redders, like Daylight is in second.
Yeah, we're just getting a little bit of
there we go. This is
break
better.
up there.
Jones has dropped back, has he? There he is.
Yeah, Lachlan Jones has played back. Brandon Copeland is running really, really well. Little bit confusion. So the second Kiwi there, he's a lap down on the run.
Tell you what, he's still going pretty well. I think that was young Dion Warwork, who we said was just hanging around, and there he goes. Well done, son. Yep.
So James Corbett has moved into second. So Brandon Copeland is coming up to complete his second lap. So 5 kilometres to go. And James Corbett, the Kiwi, is in second.
Yeah, he seems to have recovered. He's running very, very nice. You can see some keen encouragement. There's Corbett from New Zealand, and Jones in third, and just appears to be struggling slightly, Redders.
Yeah, to lose that much time very quickly from Brandon Copeland. So 5K's down. Brandon Copeland's got 2 laps to go. He's running. His rhythm looks good.
He does.
He's a mature athlete now. He's done the work. Corbett goes around. We've got him at about, James Corbett at about 12, 13 seconds, and Lachlan Jones at about 18 to 19 seconds. And then just trying to pick up that athlete as well. And here comes Braden Mercer. He's at about 30 seconds from Copeland, but only about 10 seconds from Lachlan Jones. So he's got it. You can see the vision there. And tiring. So Braden Mercer is pacing himself well. He's got a target on his back. And we'll just see if we can see Callum McCluskey coming in. Saxon Morgan from that chase group as well.
So here comes Saxon Morgan. He'll turn now and try and make his way up back towards Braden Mercer.
Yeah, so we'll just get a little time split here. So Brandon Copeland's gone around in 1 hour 32:49.
Yep.
James Corbett's in second and first under 23 in 1 hour 33:04. Lachlan Jones currently in third in 1 hour 33:10. But Braden Mercer in 1 hour 33:22, so 12 seconds behind Lachlan Jones, and Braden Mercer is our second under 23, and then Saxon Morgan is in 5th place at 1 hour 33:56, and that is our top 5 at the moment. We're still waiting for our 6th athlete to come around, as
so McCluskey coming down towards it, who seem to be running well, but it's those leaders I think have just got a bit of a wriggle on actually.
Yeah, they've moved away. So
they have.
So currently, Callum McCluskey is sitting in 6th place. Jack Crome, I should say. Jack Crome's gone.
Yep.
just wait for that timing. Yeah, Callum McCluskey, sorry, has gone through in 6th place, 1 hour 33 and 51. And then Henry McMicking from New Zealand, he's currently our 3rd under 23 with 5k to go. So the Kiwi is moving through as well as 3rd under 23. So in the under 23 race, Kiwi 1, Australia 2, Kiwi 3.
Okay.
And in our elite race, it's Brandon Copeland, James Corbett and Lachlan Jones at the moment.
Terrific racing here as the competitors are coming down to make their turn. Schofield, Williams, Curtis from New Zealand. It's a big turn. A lot of encouragement around this part of the course.
Yeah,
This
great.
is, start-finishing line.
Grayson Westgate's just gone around from New Zealand as well, so he's the 4th under 23 through. Luke Schofield's there as well in 9th place overall. And Darcy Williams from Australia rounds out the top 10 overall. As we see young Colin coming through as well.
He looks to be in good form.
Quite a distinct race suit, isn't it?
It is.
He stands out.
Yeah, no, he's moving very, very nicely. So he heads back out again at the halfway mark.
So it won't be too far, and we should be able to get some vision at the far turnaround of our leader, Brandon Copeland, to see where he's going. And
Here he is.
Speak it. So he's had a little look at his watch, and he's moving along. Apologies for a little bit of film breakups there, but we do have clouds are moving in, so it's just affecting our coverage a little bit. But Brandon, the far turnaround, he gets to have a little bit of a look of who's where in the zoo.
We do know that it's
James Corbett. He's still looking strong.
He does.
He's
He looks
running
really strong.
Running with good form. He got spat out there on that second lap, but he's just working his way back. Lachlan Jones is there. You can see Braden Mercer there, who is in 4th place with the 2 Kiwis 1 lap down. So Braden Mercer is in 4th place overall.
It's a really brave effort when you see Lachlan Jones. He's obviously hurting, and you can see when people have gone past, that's when you have a choice. You either step down or you step up, Redders, and he's decided, I've got to keep going. That's what it is.
He's hanging tough.
He's really hanging tough.
Kai Wild coming through. And look, this is the tough part of the race. That third lap of 2.5, you're going into pretty tough land through kilometres 6 to 8. You can certainly get yourself to that far turnaround and you can get yourself home. But when you're heading away from home and you know that you're still heading, every step's taking you further away from the turnaround, it can be a little bit of a mental head game.
I have to say, love the second half of the race. You sort of think, and so races within races, you've done the first 5k, and then all right, it's the home stretch now. It's a long stretch, but at least you've turned, all right? You've done the hard yards. So there is Dart.
Yeah, some of our under 23 athletes that are just really finding their way in the 2-hour race, and he'll come back stronger and better for it.
So it's Oscar Dart.
We've mentioned we had the 40th anniversary of the race, a bit of a celebration, and Oz Triathlon had a service to sport for the original race director in Royce Fairbrother, who's been a long time supporter of triathlon and development. And we had Brendan Sexton talking, and he talked about his first time in Devonport.
Yep.
And how he came and did this race and he got lapped out and couldn't finish the race. And then 4 or 5 years later he came back and won the race. So.
Brilliant.
And there's some of our spectators there.
Well, they got the numbers on, so I reckon it could be up and about tomorrow.
Could be.
There'll be plenty of people here tomorrow in the age group. It is the Festival of Triathlon here in Devonport, running over the Friday, Saturday and the Sunday. The 40th anniversary of this great race in this beautiful city of Devonport.
So Brandon Copeland, we can see there with the lead motorbike, and he's coming up past the Mersey River on Victoria Parade, and he's not that far from the turnaround to go into his last lap. So
this is where it's going to get interesting for us to absolutely see the distance between these competitors.
And get a time gap as well, because it's a little people on different laps of the course. They've certainly been shelled on that tough bike course, 40Ks, and so athletes are at different areas, but
see the distance is stretching out there.
Certainly looks like Brandon Copeland's running distinct running style, and he looks really, really relaxed.
Does look good.
He's got good cadence, got home courage. He's having a look around to see things, and he knows when he gets to this turnaround, a little check of the time, he knows that he's only got 2.5 kilometres to go.
What a lovely thought, given you've put all of that section of the race behind you. So Brandon Copeland from Australia coming down to the turn for his last time, and he knows when he comes back there's no more turns, he goes straight to the finishing chicane.
So a little roll of the ankle there on that curve. Hope just he's away again. So Brandon Copeland, he is making every post a winner. He's heading off. 2.5 to go. Who's James Corbett? Here he comes. They pass each other. They give each other a little
yes,
so there's James Corbett. So he's at about 22, 23 seconds behind Copeland. So he's got one lap to go as well. And here's Braden Mercer coming in. He's moved in. I'll just see. I might have missed in the camera in front of us in the short view.
Here goes Mercer coming around.
And he's at about 42 seconds, Braden Mercer. I did miss Lachlan Jones. So Lachlan Jones has turned. So Lachlan Jones is going through there. He is there. So Brandon Copeland, James Corbett, Lachlan Jones, Braden Mercer. And then we're expecting to see Saxon Morgan.
Saxon Morgan probably
in the next group.
Yep. Well, for Brandon Copeland, this has been a wonderful race so far. As I say, in the 109 starts, 19 podiums and 9 wins, 24th in Dubai. He's really having a cracker effort here today. Looks very, very good.
So right now, Braden Copeland sitting in the gold medal position. James Corbett, what a race. He's sitting in second silver medal overall, but first under 23, so that's a fantastic race from him. Going to be tight. It's about 10 seconds between Lachlan Jones and Braden Mercer for the bronze medal to the podium in the elite race. But Braden is sitting in silver position as Saxon Morgan goes through as well. So he's now sitting in 5th position.
Yep.
Saxon Morgan.
Jones is really hanging tough, isn't he?
He is.
You know, he was overtaken and he dropped back, and then he just found something to keep that momentum going forward and at a good pace. He has that never give it away attitude.
So this is our
Here's McCluskey just coming up. It's McKeeking.
So this is the battle for 6th and 7th. Callum McCluskey goes around, and Henry McMeeking from New Zealand. He's an under 23 athlete as well.
McCluskey goes out wide, trying to overtake his competitor there.
Kurt Wesley from Western Australia coming through.
Well done by him as he rounds that to head back out again. Getting great encouragement. He's just put the 2 fingers up. That wasn't the peace sign. That's to say he's got to go round again.
Yeah, so Henry McKeeking is doing really well. He's sitting in the bronze medal for the under 23 race.
Okay.
So 7th overall, but in 3rd place for under 23s.
So we're starting to tighten up. There is
Luke Schofield coming
Luke
through.
Schofield, isn't it? Yep.
So Grayson Westgate's gone through. Luke Schofield will be going through shortly.
It's really interesting. You can see down here in front of us, they all start to stand up and move towards that chicane with anticipation of the runners coming down as they get the bell lap. And there is Brandon Copeland running very, very nice. You can just see shaking the old right hand out there. We'll just keep an eye on Corbett. Isn't quite in vision yet, and he's running very nicely, Redders.
He's looking well. He's under control. He's got nice canes. He's checking his time and his splits. Trains with Dan Atkins up there on the Gold Coast. Trains with Matthew Hauser and also Braden Mercer. So he's this is a bit of a breakout result for him here. So
it certainly is, as he's
take the gold.
on to the last section of his race, the last 1.25, as James Corbett comes down for his turn. As we can see, just Jones behind him. And then it'll be interesting to see if Mercer's made any impression on Lachlan Jones. Most impressed by young Lachlan Jones.
Yeah, he's hanging really tough, isn't he? James Corbett, fantastic silver medal overall, sitting first under 23. Here's Lachlan Jones and Braden Mercer with Taylor from New Zealand, but who's running really well, but he's one lap down, so he's 2.5 kilometres behind these guys.
So there goes Lachlan Jones. He rounds that.
William Taylor from New Zealand going through, just as Braden Mercer goes around.
But here is our leader, Brandon Copeland, who is heading back down towards the chicane if there isn't going to be any other challenge. And I tell you what, he looks every point a winner from here, Redders.
Yeah, he's looking really strong and composed. He's running really well.
There's the young fella that we had a few minutes ago. That's that Dion Warwork who was keeping up with the leaders, and he's just dropped off the pace slightly as
Rowan Hickey was going through there as well.
So we can hear the bell. That's giving everyone the acknowledgement that they're coming around for their last lap. We'll hopefully get back to Braden Copeland, as we can see him here running really, really nicely.
Yeah, coming past the Maritime Museum there. So he's probably about 800 metres to go from there.
Just seems to be shaking that right wrist a few times.
Yeah,
what do you think that'll be?
Just relaxing the arm, just a little.
Hopefully there's nothing
Relax the shoulders.
happening. I think it's just a relaxation thing, as we can get the vision of him running back towards that finishing line. What a wonderful position to be in for him. He just comes round that corner and then it's all straight for him.
Yeah, he made that power move and got that gap, and so he can actually settle back and really enjoy this last 500-600 metres. As we look to the top of the screen, we can see the blue carpet just coming up into shot, so give you an idea of how far he's got to run. He's getting very, very close.
Well done from Brandon Copeland. Been a very measured race.
But Brandon's one of these young, I say kids, but he's a grown adult, but he's a real student of the sport, Hoppy, and he would really understand the significance of having his name on the honour roll of winning Devonport Triathlon. He really embraced the sport and knows the history that's gone before him. So fantastic win for him. Fantastic win for his coach Dan Atkins, and he's going to be the Oceania and Australian standard distance champion for 2025.
Brilliant, and he's going to come away with his 10th win. But as you just said, Craig Redmond, it's quite a significant race, this one. It's the championship that is the Oceania standard distance champion, but the 40th anniversary of the Devonport Triathlon. As he just about to come towards the finishing line, I reckon he'll start to be smiling here now. He's starting to wave, he puts the arm up, he'll come down, he's on the carpet now, he'll see the finishing tape. He's even prepared to give the old high fives. What a lovely position to be in. Terrific work by him. He's putting the finger up, he looks at his watch, and he's gone across, and there is your champion, Brandon Copeland. Well done, son. Terrific race from him.
What a fantastic race for Brandon, and a deserving winner. He's been around in the sport for a long time, and what a breakthrough for a race. And now we're looking for James Corbett, breakout race, silver medal today in the elite race, but gold in the under 23, and he's really hurting, but he's going to stand up and cheer New Zealand. James Corbett is your under 23 Oceania champion, and he's
just got there. I reckon if there was a couple of metres more, I reckon the poor old boy is just cramped up. Look at that. That finishing line couldn't have come quick enough for him. Congratulations, James. Well done, son. But I'm glad that line was there for him, Redders.
Yeah, second. First under 23, silver elite, gold under 23. And how's Lachlan Jones? He's held, what a tough run.
Well done.
What a tough run. So Lachlan Jones comes across. He gets on the podium, takes third place. And silver, fourth overall, and silver in the under 23s. Braden Mercer. What a fantastic race for him. And he'll learn a lot from that race.
Yeah, we can see there that Lachlan Jones has given absolutely everything there, Redders, to stay in that position. We said before that was really, really gutsy. He looked to be out and gone, and I thought was going to sort of slip down, but he's certainly dug deep. As you can just sort of see how much it's taken out of these races. Look at this. This is carnage at the finish line.
It's a brutal course. It's a brutal course, and these guys have given everything, and it's fantastic effort from them. And James Corbett's cramp, and here comes Saxon Morgan. He's a Kiwi coming in, so he will take 5th place overall. So well done, Saxon, riding on a borrowed bike. He was in a bike accident earlier in the week. He's obviously okay to race, but it's never easy when you're on a bike that you're not used to and you're doing your training. And another Kiwi coming down there. So Henry McBeaking, I believe, is going to come down in 6th place.
Yep. So we can see how much it meant to them. Just hats off to these guys who made their way towards the finishing line, although they knew they were totally and utterly spent. They just found something. We could see as James Corbett came across the line to represent New Zealand to take out, indeed, the under-23 title. As soon as he got across, the old leg gave way and he was down. The wheelchair came out. Thankfully, he's now out of the wheelchair as we're seeing now who we got there. That's Henry McMeeking.
Yeah, so Callum McCluskey actually drew away from, so he came across 6 behind Saxon Morgan. Henry McMeeking's coming in 7th overall, but he takes the bronze in the under-23. Unofficially, we'll have to get this ratified by the officials, but it looks like on our timing system, Henry has taken the bronze medal in the under-23 Oceania title.
Well, it is a brutal course for all those people that are watching that are going to be racing tomorrow. Well, let's hope it just puts a bit of fire in the belly, but they know what is in front of them. And you can see the New Zealanders getting towards, and there is Lachlan Jones. He seems to be sitting up and smiling now, Redders, and I'm really, really pleased to see that.
So Grayson Westgate from New Zealand was 8th across the line and 4th in the under-23s. And Luke Schofield's just come in 9th overall as well.
Thornhill.
And Rory Thornhill is just come through in 10th. He'll run out the top 10.
That's a great effort, isn't it, here at this race? It's an elite field, and to get in the top 10, you'd be absolutely over the moon with that performance. So there is our winner having a bit of a chat to Lachlan Jones. You can see the reflections there of Braden Mercer. Refueling, getting a little bit of fuel on board. And this is where it's interesting as all the competitors are in the shade there and they're just reflecting on what a brutal race that was. You can see how much it's taken out of them. There's James Corbett is getting the high fives. 2nd across the line, but he has won the under-23 division. So he'll be absolutely thrilled with that. As we're seeing more competitors come over it, you're seeing a few photos being taken. But this race here, which is the 40th anniversary of the Devonport Triathlon, it is a test. It is a very, very big test of your fitness because it is 8 laps of a very, very hilly course, quite technical. There's no way you can switch off, and there we see the vision of Brandon Copeland as he puts the finger to the sky. Number 1, magnificent performance by him. He's able to come across and take the gold medal, and he is the 2025 Oceania Elite Champion here in Devonport. The 40th anniversary is being celebrated. Absolutely magnificent performance, and that was in the time of 1 hour 48 and 39 seconds. James Corbett was 2nd, but 1st in the under-23. Lachlan Jones, very gutsy performance. As there is Leighton Wall comes across. That's his race done. Congratulations to him. Anyone who races and competes and gets across the line, as far as I'm concerned, they're absolute rippers. This is elite. Anything under the 2-hour mark here is just fantastic racing. It's not an easy course, as we've said. And to come across here is well done. Some of the best races in Oceania. We're getting ready now to cross to have a bit of an interview with our winner, as we can see. And we're going to cross now to
Brandon
have
Copeland,
a
gold
chat to our winner.
What a race, a real breakthrough performance.
Yeah, mate, I'm pretty stoked with that one. It's a tough sport. It's hard to get all three legs firing at once, and today it came together, so I'm super grateful. It's been a while since I've got a win, so it's just nice to put the arms up again, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, look, we were talking in the race how you were prominent in the swim, you rode really good position on the bike, but that run, you had James Corbett come up beside you and then you broke away. What a fantastic way.
Mate, James Corbett flew past about a K&a-half into the run, and I was like, far out, I hope he can't hold this, because I know I can't, so thank God I sort of found my form again, and yeah, I was really happy with that run.
You've come here many times as a junior and under-23 and as a lead athlete, so you know Devonport really, really well. It's the 40th anniversary. What does it feel like to get your name on with those race winners in the 40th race of the Devonport Triathlon?
Yeah, mate, it's pretty special. I mean, if you look back at the honour roll of this race, it's stacked with Aussie and Kiwi talent. So, mate, I'm absolutely over the moon to win. I won this race in 2018, and that's as an elite, which is a bit scary. It's now 2025, so I am starting to feel like one of the veterans, but yeah, happy to get a win any way possible.
I can't believe I'm calling you a veteran. So look, you obviously had some really good miles in the legs because you're getting ready for a 70.3 next week in Geelong. So tell us about how your training's going.
Yeah, I've been basically just training on the TT bike since Abu Dhabi, and I got on the road bike on Wednesday and I felt really strong. So hopefully there's a bit of a translation there, and yeah, I've really got no expectations for next week. It's a whole different ball game, but just want to start dipping my toes into that longer sort of race, and I might be good, I might be absolutely terrible, but there's only one way to find out, you know.
You had some of your squad training members in that lead group with us. What was it like having to work that group and with the Kiwi boys? Were you all working really well together?
Yeah, it was really good. It was really cohesive. We never really came off it. We had a good group. I think 6 is about the perfect number of athletes. Like, had some good guys with me, and we're all really motivated to work hard. And training with Braden Mercer, he's on a tear at the moment, and he's got a big future for sure. So, I mean, I might not be beating him for much longer, but I got the one today, so I'll take it.
Congratulations, gold medal, Oceania Australian champion. Well done, Brandon Copeland.
Thanks, Redders. Appreciate it, mate. Thanks to everyone for coming out, family, supporters, friends. Couldn't do it without you all.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
It was great to hear the thoughts and insights into that race from Brandon Copeland. Again, our winner here in Devonport in the Oceania Elite Division of the men's standard competition, which comprises of the 1.5 kilometre swim, the 40 kilometre bike ride, and the 10 kilometre run. And you can see down there at the finishing line now, everyone's happy. They've exerted and given everything. They've left it all out in the track as it's getting now down towards that 2 hour mark, as all of our athletes have worked so hard to get themselves to the line. It's Wild of Australia just coming across in 1:58.20. Well done by him, as well as Hickey. And I believe we've got another interview over there. I think it'll be with James Corbett, and let's go over to Craig Redmond to hear that chat.
James Corbett, silver in the elite race, but gold in the under-23. What a breakthrough performance.
I'm on cloud 9 right now. I don't even know what to feel, don't know how to think. I mean, that was probably the most dramatic finishing straight ever, but I mean, I caught up to Braden and Lockie halfway through the run, and you know, I was like, oh, I'm going to let this dog out in me, and you know, and I regretted it 20 seconds later. My legs just seized up, and yeah, and then I was just playing defensive the rest of the run. I tried to just stay on that line of cramp, come down, cramp, come down, cramp, come down. And then I saw the Kiwi boys, saw the junior boys on the sideline down that finishing straight, and I, clicked out of that race mode, and bang, it was just the rush of cramp just hit my whole body, and I was, if that was 100 meters longer, I think Lockie would have came back and got me. So pretty grateful, and yeah, I'm cloud nine.
It was an impressive performance. You swam towards the front, you made that front group. You guys look like you're working really well. Yeah. How'd you feel on the North Street Hill?
Well, in the swim, I felt like the biggest pest, actually. Like, I was bumping into Braden and Lockie the whole time, but I was like, I'm with the big boys here. Like, I'm not giving up any room now. Like, I felt like this is the, it's been a long time of, really good training data and stuff, and never really being able to execute it in a race. So to put one together today was just, and I was so stressed all day. And the hill was, sorry, back to the question. The hill was really good. It was definitely really steep, and the boys, there was a lot of communication, and we decided to ramp the flat bits, and then we'll just get up it as a group up the hill. So I never really felt too bad or anything on the hill. It was just more of get up it and then let's hit the flat. Yeah.
Well, fantastic race. You're the Oceania Under-23 champion. You're silver medal in the elite. Yeah. Anything to say for the folks back at home?
Oh, well, thanks Mum and Dad for the ongoing support. Thanks to Mia. Thanks to all my friends and family. I've got the best support group right at the moment, and I've been loving life, and I think it's showing, and I've been loving the sport, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So
what's next for you? What's next for James Corbett?
Well, that's a pretty big result, so I'm going to probably have a look back at the calendar, and I feel on cloud 9 right now, so I feel like I could take on the world, so, might go and look at doing some World Cups or something, but I'm on cloud 9 right now, and I'm so grateful to have done this race and everything.
Well, James Corbett, congratulations and good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
What a ripping young fella, James Corbett, representing New Zealand. As we can see the strain on some of our athletes. That's Cameron Maunder from New Zealand, who's really put in hard to come across the line. Getting the high fives, you can see there is young Kurt Wesley who crosses the line, and he's thrilled to get there, and that's great to see. He's finished the race in just over the 2 hours, 2:01:16, which is a very creditable performance indeed. Congratulations here. You can see many of the athletes, it's really taken everything out of them, as Cameron Maunder is just getting a little bit of assistance, hopefully just cramping up. And I think we're going to go back for another chat, and maybe I think it's Lachlan Jones with Craig Redmond.
Lachlan Jones, bronze medal today here in Devonport. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Oh, mate, it was tough. I think there was no real game plan today. We were a bit up in the air of how it was going to play out. Could have come all together, could have split up like it did. So we were just really rolling with the punches. I went out strong like I usually do on the swim. I was first to that first can. I know what kind of swim Braden Mercer and Jack Crome got on them, so I sort of let them take that second lap, which was, we were just sitting pretty after that. The bike was so good. We had a really good, strong group of 6 boys, and we worked really well together. So we established, I think nearly a 90-second gap. I think it was a minute 15 or whatever. So, from there it was just about hanging tough. 10K's a long way on tired legs, especially after that bike and that climb. So, again, I established myself at the front early with Brando, and I was feeling really comfy, but the legs sort of fell off, close to 5K. You got a long way to go. So it was a real tough one, that last 5K, just trying to hang tough and just pray to God that Braden Mercer wasn't going to come up behind me and, do what he does best and sneak a podium. So, I'm really happy with that, and first podium in, a championship race. So, I'm buzzing with that.
You should be pleased. We were commentating in the box of how tough you were hanging, because we honestly did think Braden were going to get to you. So tell us a bit about your mindset in that last bit of the run.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and Merce, we've been friends for a long time now, and I've watched him come onto the scene and just dominate. So it's been pretty cool to watch him sort of shine. I think last year we raced each other 8 times, and I got 4 of them and he got 4 of them. So, I'm keeping tally on that. I've taken an early lead this year, but he's a phenomenal athlete, and he's going to do great things in the sport. So I'm hoping that I can challenge him along the way. And today was one of those days where I was able to hang tough and get him in the end.
So what's the plans moving forward now? I've heard from coaches that you're training the house down at the moment. So what are you looking forward to next?
Yeah, I kind of got to a point, I guess, a year or 2 ago where I was kind of just getting sick of being happy for everybody else and seeing everybody else in the podium. So I thought, I've got a short time in my triathlon career, so I want to make the most of it. And I've set myself up in a British system, so I've got a British coach, and I just really believe in the training we're doing and the program that I'm in. So it's a lot of solo hours. We're doing big hours, big kilometres, but if that's what it takes for me to be able to get results like this, then I'm more than willing to do it, and I'll outwork anybody if I have to.
Well, congratulations, Dave. Bronze medal at the Oceania Championships. Well done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, there was Lachlan Jones, who finished third across the line, second in the elite, but he's on the podium, which is absolutely amazing. And we can see now that all of our competitors have finished the race. As we can see some happy chappies down there, and that's what it's all about. You've gone out and had a crack. There's Jaden Schofield down there enjoying the day, and Luke Schofield. Terrific race by them, as you can see. Lachlan Jones just having a bit of a debrief. But I can report that our last runner has come across, and congratulations. There was Timothy Hornsey, just finished in 2:04.06, and Jet Curtis from New Zealand in 2:04.22. So very well done. And of course we do have a big shout out to the New South Wales crew who have come down and enjoyed this race very, very much indeed. But it's been the party atmosphere, and the party starts now for everyone that has competed in the races here. It is what a magnificent day of racing.
Oh, what a fantastic race from Brandon Copeland. Like I said, a student of sport. It's a great race for him, great performance. He's going to do the 70.3, as he mentioned, in Geelong next week. So he's going to do basically double this distance, as we've seen coming down the finishing line there. And what an interview with James Corbett. Yeah. What a break. So be proud, New Zealand. He did a great job today. 2 more steps, and I don't know whether he would have finished with that cramp, but that was a fantastic interview. And then also Lachlan Jones, he hung tough, and he's trying to make his mark as well. So what a fantastic day of racing.
Yeah, it really has been. I've sort of recapped just a few minutes ago on everyone that has finished from 1:48 to 2:04. Absolutely elite performances from all our athletes. So congratulations to them. Well, mate, that's probably all from us. I know we're probably going to cross down in just a few moments, and everyone will be able to stay tuned for the presentations. But as far as we're concerned, we might sign off now. And we'll probably be resuming in just a few minutes. So, Craig Redmond, to you, thank you so much for the coverage. It's been an absolute joy to be here in Devonport for the 40th anniversary. It's Andrew Hopwood and Craig Redmond signing off, and we can see here, look at just starting to get a bit wobbly in the old legs was James Corbett. We could see here, look at the grimace on his face, Redders, just hanging on tough and looking around and says, I'll crawl. I'll just got to get to the finishing line. Well done, son. A credit to yourself, your family, and, of course, your country. And he goes, Oi, just get there. Come on, and grabbed it on there. Brilliant performance. So well done. So that's it from us here at the Devonport Triathlon. Stay tuned, though, because we're going to cross to the presentations in just a few moments.
Thanks, Glenn. And our champion first across the line in a time of 1:02.51, and what a great performer here. Oceania champion, junior women, Aspen Anderson. Well done, Aspen. Thanks for running up, Aspen. I appreciate that. Well done to our Oceania junior women. Okay, we take... Oh, look out. I thought we were going to tackle Mum then. We take our focus to the junior men, Oceania champions, and in third place from New Zealand, Finley Oliver. Well done, Finley. So definitely just a passing shower. In second goes to Zahn Spies. Hold on, Zahn.
Catch.
And first across the line in the Oceania junior men in a time of 57.19. Great performance, Jack Cordwell. Well done, Jack. Well done. Let's hear it for our Oceania junior men place getters. Okay, so we're going to go to the under-23 women official results. And in this, we have the Oceania results, and we also have the Australian Championships results. So there'll be two lot of presentations here. Some of you may be asked to stay up here. So in the under-23 women, third goes to Bria Roderick from New Zealand. Well done, Bria. Pressed to see, still got the New Zealand suit on there, Bria. In second, Tara Sasinski. And first across the line in the under-23 women in a time of 2:02.55. Great performance today. Let's hear it for Rochelle Hill. So let's hear it for our under-23 women, Rochelle and Tara. I might ask you to, Rochelle, if you wouldn't mind staying there. That'd be lovely. Thank you. And Rochelle and Tara are going to stay up here first and second in the Australian Championships. So, Craig, if you could just present it. And I'll call on Zoe in third position, Zoe Clark. So, Zoe, if you could come up third place in the standard distance in the Australian Championships. If Zoe's around. No, Zoe? Oh, sit tight. Zoe's coming. Hey, here we go. Thanks, Zoe. So well done to Rochelle, Tara and Zoe, the standard distance Australian champions, under 23 women. You two are going to be up here again in a moment, so don't go too far. Thank you. Well done, girls. Okay, we now go to the elite women for the standard distance. Oceania in third place, representing New Zealand, Nicole van der Kay. Great run from Nicole today. Still running. In second place, Lauren Kerwick. Bit tight, Lauren. And once again, our winner in the elite women, Rochelle Hill. Come on up again, Rochelle. Thank you. So let's hear it for our elite women in the Oceania Championships place getters. And I'll ask Rochelle again and to stay, and Lauren, and also Tara, if you could please come back up. So Australian Championship standard distance, Tara was in third, Lauren in second, and Rochelle was first across the line. Thank you for your patience. Well done to Rochelle, Lauren and Tara there, our standard distance Australian champions. Okay, we're going to go over to the under 23 men now. In third place, representing New Zealand, Henry McMecking. Well done, Henry. Together a nice consistent performance today. Terrific run. In second place, representing Australia, Braden Mercer. And I'm Braden. And our winner in the Oceania under 23 standard distance, representing New Zealand in a time of 1:49.07. Let's hear it for James Corbett. So well done to Henry, Braden and James. Oceania under 23. Braden's going to stay up here. I'd like to call on the third place getter in the Australian Championships. Standard distance goes to Logan Campbell. Under 23. Well done, Logan. He's got a strip. Okay. Take it off. Second in the under-23 goes to Rory Thornhill. And our Australian champion, over the standard distance, goes to Braden Mercer. Well done, Braden. Well done to Logan, Rory and Braden. Good stuff. All right, we turn our focus to the Elite Men Oceania Championships. In third place, representing Australia, Lachlan Jones. Well done, Lachlan. Time of 1:49.38. In second place, again, we're calling back up, representing New Zealand, James Corbett. And our Oceania standard distance champion today, representing Australia in a time of 1:48.39. Let's hear it for Brandon Copeland. Still running. So well done to our elite men, Lachlan, James and Brandon. Oceania champions standard distance. So Australian Championships, standard distance. Third place goes to Braden Mercer. So Braden, if you can come back up, thank you. Let's hear it for Braden. Second goes to Lachlan Jones. Come on up, Lachlan. Well done. And our Australian standard distance champion, Brandon Copeland. Well done to Braden, Lachlan and Brandon. Fair bit of shaking going on up here. All right, well done to everyone today. Thank you to all our triathletes. Great performance. As I said earlier, passing shower. Enjoy the evening, and we'll see you all back tomorrow for the mixed team relay State of Origin. We've also got a local event on and a kids race in the morning. Thank you, and have a good evening. See you tomorrow.